Michael, I'm just warning you. Going to work for Johnny would be a mistake. You come into this business, you are gonna lose people that you love. That's what this business does. It takes your heart and it takes your soul. Why would you want that for yourself?
You regret giving up your place as Jake's father. But Jason, be honest with me. Do you regret joining the business?
I'd probably be dead if I hadn't met your dad. But Sonny represented everything the Quartermains didn't. There was no expectations. There was no pressure for me to be somebody I wasn't. You know, working for your dad, it gave me purpose, and at the time, that's all I cared about. But if I had known what was coming, the people that I hurt, the loss that I feel, the hell I put you through before Jake was ever born, I wouldn't have taken the job. I want better for you. Michael, and I'm telling you, if you come into this business, one way or another, you are gonna pay.
Hey. Hi. If this is a bad time, I can come back.
No, come in.
Are you sure? I mean, if you want to be alone.
You know,
I
it's...
completely understand.
I used to cherish the moments when the house was so quiet. When Lucky had the boys and I could actually hear myself think. Now I'd give anything to listen to Cameron and Jake fighting over a toy. I would offer you something to drink, but
No,
I
please,
haven't been to the store.
don't worry about that. I actually wasn't planning on staying long. I just wanted to come by and tell you how sorry I was. Jake was a really special little boy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How's Jason doing?
He's working a lot. Anything to distract him from thinking about Jake.
Yeah, I tried going back to work too, but Steven said I wasn't ready. He said I needed more time to grieve. But what he doesn't understand is that time isn't going to make any of this better. Nothing will.
Elizabeth, I was really awful to you after Jake was born. The things that I did, I was jealous. Really jealous that you could give Jason something that I couldn't.
And I turned around and asked him to give Jake up.
But you did what was best for Jake. I just wanted to tell you how very sorry I am.
And we all did things that didn't make a whole lot of sense back then. But now I have a better understanding of why it all happened, at least for me. You know, I was so used to just leaning on Lucky and having him support me. And when the roles were reversed, I didn't know what to do. He went spiraling out of control with his addiction. And I failed him by turning to Jason.
You get good grades. You know, you can go to college, you get a good job when you're finished.
I'm not cut out for the corporate world. Look, I barely make it through every day at Madison wearing a tie. I can't imagine putting one on every morning, just sit behind a desk for the rest of my life.
Trust me, I'm right there with you.
Then why are you pushing this?
Okay, I'm not trying to make you somebody that you're not. I know what that's like. I know that's not going to make you happy. I just think that you need time to figure out what will make you happy. I mean, do you remember those travel books I used to read to you?
About Africa, yeah.
Yeah, don't you want to go there someday? Michael, there's a whole world out there. I mean, you can go anywhere you want. You can be anything you want. It's just right there.
No, what I want is to be independent. So not have to rely on Dad and his connections and you stepping in to save me all the time. Look, I want to prove I can stand on my own and take care of myself.
There's other ways to do that besides going to work for Johnny.
Look, when someone you care about's in danger, you don't call the cops. You take action and the threat goes away. That's all I want from my life. It's to be in control of my life. And never feel powerless again.
He's been the one person I could count on. You know, the one person who would pick me back up and put me together when I fell apart. I just wish I could have been that strong for him. But instead, I chose to be with Jason, and I ended up hurting him the most. Because he trusted me to keep Jake safe.
Yeah, but Jason doesn't blame you for what happened, so I don't think you should blame yourself. Elizabeth, it was an accident. If there's anything you need, you let me know, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sam,
Yeah.
this was Jake's favorite toy. I want Jason to have it.
Wow. I will give this to him. This is going to mean so much more than you'll ever know. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, when I woke up from the accident, my life was a blank slate. You know, the Quartermains, tried to help me by telling me stories or bringing me things I used to like, and I know that they meant well, but it felt like they were pushing me to be somebody else. So I pushed back because I wanted to be the one in control of my life.
No, what's wrong with that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, Michael, but I went about it the wrong way. I ended up hurting people who love me. You know, when I first told Alan I was going to go work for Sonny, he blew up. He tried to forbid it.
Which made you only want it more, right?
I realize now that Alan was just looking out for his son. But I thought I knew better. I turned my back on the Quartermains. I started my new life and made sure they weren't any part of it at all. Alan would reach out to me. I'd shut him down. I said some terrible things to him. And then Alan died. Before I can make it right between us, and I have to live with that every day. But I like to think I learned from it. So no matter what you choose, whether I think you're right or you're wrong, I'm not going to turn my back on you. All I can do is love you, and I always will.
Look, I want to let you know I heard every single thing that you said. But I have to make this choice on my own.
I went by Elizabeth's to tell her how sorry I was about Jake and the way I treated her after he was born, and I realized I made some really horrible choices.
That was a long time ago.
I know. I still felt like I owed her an apology. It really wasn't fair of me to take out all of my insecurities about not being able to have a child out on her, and she was really very gracious about the whole thing. She said we all make mistakes.
She's right, we all do.
Jason, she gave me this, and she wanted you to have it. She said it was Jake's favorite. I guess he does take after his father, after all. I think if you had given yourself a chance, you would have been an amazing father.
Well, a good father knows when to let go. No matter how much you love a child, there comes a point when you have to step aside and let them live their own life. And Michael's at that point. It really scares me. He's pretty much convinced himself that taking a job with Johnny is the answer to all his problems.
Is he really that desperate to be a part of the
I mean,
business?
he's so desperate for control. You know, Michael's life is really not been his own life. He's always been watched by guards. People always tell him what to do, and Michael thinks this business is his way to get his power.
Well, what did you tell him?
I told him that this business takes a lot more than it gives. But he's not going to listen to me.
Well, you know, I think you're right. At some point, you're gonna have to step aside and make him learn from his own mistakes. He's gonna choose his own path and live with the consequences.
I know. But he's just been paying for all the mistakes Sonny and I made for his whole life. You know, I didn't want to see that happen to Jake, so I tried to give him a safer life, but in the end, it didn't really.
No, don't you do that. You did the best you
I know,
could
Sam,
to
but
keep Michael and Jake
It
safe.
wasn't enough. I can't control what happens to them or anybody else. I wish I would have realized that. And while Jake was still here. Did you get it, Jake? It's all about the danger he'd be in because of my job, and I missed a bigger truth.
And what's that?
Death comes at any time to anybody for any reason, and there's nothing you can do about it. Except try to make something out of the time that you're given. I didn't do that. With Jake, I missed him every single day.
Yeah, I know, and it broke your heart. To do that, I saw it whenever you were near Jake. And giving him up was like putting a dagger into your own heart, but you did it anyway because you put his needs ahead of your own, and that is not something you should beat yourself up over. That's something you should be proud of.
Sorry, man. For my son, I could have tried. I could have tried to push to be a part of his life.
Yeah, Jason, but you allowed Lucky and Elizabeth to raise Jake because you thought that they were going to be able to provide a better life for them. But you weren't alone in that. That's what everyone thought. All of you did what you thought was best for Jake. There is no one to blame in this, least of all you. Actually, one is to be one of those irritating people who tell you how you should feel.
You never do that. That's why you're so easy to talk to.
Oh, stop. That's just because you don't talk all that much. My event calendar. I actually have an appointment. I have to go to work, but I can reschedule
No,
if you
there's no
want.
reason for that. I'm fine. Is it a new client?
No, I'm just wrapping up the case, but this is actually the hard part because this is where I have to tell a nice, young, hardworking man that his wife has been cheating on him despite 3 years of fertility treatments. My case files. I think I left them in the drawer.
Thank you for bringing this to me.
Don't thank me. Thank Elizabeth because it was her idea. I just delivered it. Gotta go. I love you.
You seem to keep showing up here.
It's fine. Something happened.
Well, I wanted to handle things the right way. Like a man, or at least like an equal, so I went to Dad's to tell him face to face I was gonna not cut ties with Johnny. So I hope he'd respect my decision and everything, but he... What, are you and Sam having a baby?
No, That pamphlet came from your mother.
You're kidding me.
No, Carla's convinced that Sam and I need to have a baby. That's how I'm gonna heal.
What do you think?
Guarantee Sam could ever have a child. She'd have to get the surgery to even make it a possibility, and then it's 50-50.
Yeah, and my mom knows this. Okay, so she decided you guys needed a kid, did a little research, and then ambushed Sam with this.
And that about sums it up.
That's unbelievable. And even for mom, you just lost your kid. Why would she do something like that?
It's just Carly being Carly. You know, she's trying to help, and to be honest, she's just saying what Sam won't let herself say.
What do you mean?
I gave up Jake. So Sam gave up the idea of having a child. And she did that for me so I wouldn't have to make any painful choices, and she never made me feel guilty about that. But I know her. Sam at least wants the chance to be a mother.
Well, I'm clear that you're clear on what Sam wants. But what about you?
You never know the best times when you're in them. It gets clear with perspective. So I didn't know, when you were a baby, that taking care of you would be one of the highlights of my life. It was just so natural. It was easy. Part of that's because I had no idea what I was doing or the sense to even be afraid. I didn't know mistakes were inevitable. Or that life could suddenly spin out of control and hurt your kids in ways that you can't even imagine.
I mean, if you had.
I would have loved you and taken care of you anyway.
And that's kind of the point, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I don't know what it's like to be a parent, but I do know when you love somebody. And even if you get a glimpse into the future and you see it short, you want to spend as much time as you can with that person.
Where'd you learn that, Abby?
Yeah, I guess I did.
It's very wise.
Look, what I'm trying to say is, if you and Sam decide you do want to have a baby, don't let what happened to Jake hold you back. Have it. And love it with your whole heart. And be the best dad you can possibly be. For as long as you can.
Thank you.
I'm probably telling you things you already know, but if it helps, I'm glad I said it.
Hey, so I was thinking we could order some pizza. That would be awesome. Where did this come from?
I think it came out of the drawer when you got your files.
I'm sorry about that.
You don't have to be sorry. I mean, if you're interested.
No, I'm not. Okay, well, part of me wishes that Carly was right. And I could just fix everything by having a baby.